Hi, Corey Geiger, Neil Rudel, recapping Penn State's 21-3 win over Akron. Wasn't a pretty game. A lot of mistakes, actually, by the Penn State offense. But let's start with the defense because they won that game because of the defense.
Yeah, no question. And this is now 2 weeks in a row that Penn State has shut down a first and goal in the first quarter. And the other thing that jumps out is they are blitzing more than we've ever seen a Penn State team. Linebackers, safety blitzes coming off the edges, and I think it's really made a big difference, not just in sacks by those guys, but particularly for the defensive line.
Yeah, and the defensive line, the front seven, really playing well. The offense had its issues today. Christian Hackenberg threw for more than 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. But we've had an interesting discussion since the game ended. Do you think Christian Hackenberg played well? 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions in the red zone. Analyzing his day, he admitted he was frustrated for a good bit of the day. So analyzing his day is kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, I think in his case, particularly, the expectations are so high that he's created, and it's a credit to him. So we're measuring him against himself and his potential. And, you know, for what we've seen from Christian Hackenberg, this clearly was not one of his better games. He finished the game strong, and they got the running game finally going, and that opened some things up with the play action. But I don't think, when you're picked off twice at the goal line, you can't feel good that you had a great game.
But here's the other part. They couldn't run the ball for 3 quarters. When you can't run the ball, I mean, the running game was abysmal. When you can't run the ball and you put that much pressure on a quarterback to have to do every single thing, I do get the feeling that as good as Christian is, and he's so immensely talented, he probably feels the weight of the world on his shoulders to have to make every throw, every play, and he forces some things. Now, they switched to the Wildcat in the fourth quarter. They had a sequence of 6 out of 7 plays. They went to the Wildcat, and they probably had about 9 or 10 Wildcat snaps in the fourth quarter. Hey, if you can't run the ball and you're going to make a change like that, I thought it was a pretty good move by the coaching staff.
Yeah, they've shown some in-game adjustments pretty quickly. They went to Keel Lynch. He got 45 yards on 7 carries, did a nice job. You know, I don't like the fact that Hackenberg is kind of exposed on the perimeter when you go to the Wildcat, but it really sort of opened up the offense. Winnack got moving, and turned out to be, and James Franklin said he likes the Wildcat. You're going to see more of it.
They carried 31 times for 106 yards. 64 of those yards came on 4 carries. So the other 27 carries netted 42 yards. The running game is clearly a major problem at this point. It's going to be a problem until they get this figured out for the whole offense. So that's something that certainly, if they're going to make progress and to have some success in the Big Ten, if you can't run the ball against Akron, then obviously you've got some issues.
And you weren't able to run against Central Florida either. So, yeah, I think you're starting to see some trends, and this is their response to it, to go to a Wildcat, more play-action passing. They had a great day from their punter today. He averaged 48 yards a kick. They're still not getting much out of their punt return game. You know, hey, you're 3 years into this into these sanctions now, so you're still seeing, you know, they're not going to be able to just totally outman people.
Sure. And we're seeing throughout the Big Ten all day Saturday, Ball State beating Iowa, Northern Illinois leading Iowa as we take this, Northern Illinois leading Northwestern, Nebraska getting all it wanted from McNeese State. These smaller conference teams are challenging the Big Ten, and that's going to be interesting to see if that keeps up. Penn State plays Rutgers next week in the Big Ten opener. We'll preview that game on Tuesday in our PSU presser. Thanks to Gary Baranek for doing our video.